First, Lisa, have you had Popeyes lately?
I haven't, and I love although Popeyes, Jonathan, Popeyes. My
What?
French mother calls it Popeyes, which is funny, but it's not
What's
Popeyes.
wrong with Popeyes? What do you want me to call it? Popeyes? What do you guys want me to call
Popeyes.
it? What do people want me to call Popeyes?
This, as in, it's not named for the
I
Sailorman, but
no,
it's
I'm
Popeyes.
gonna continue to call it Popeyes
All right,
because I'm sorry, I'm too old to change, Lisa
Popeyes is
Jennings. In any
delicious.
event, Popeyes is delicious. I
Yeah.
don't think there is any question about it. However, a very large franchisee of theirs filed for bankruptcy is a company called Sailormen. Uh, you know, I guess we can only theorize that Sailorman
Yes.
was named for Popeye, the spinach eating sailor man, and not what Popeyes was really based on, which was what was that movie again? Um, uh,
Was it the
uh,
French Connection?
yes, the French Connection.
Yeah.
So, um, a character from that. But in any event, Sailorman filed for bankruptcy. It owes $130 million in senior secured debt. Lisa, that's a lot of debt. It has 130 locations in Florida, in Georgia. It had a couple of deals. It had a deal to sell some restaurants in Georgia. That fell through. They got stuck with the leases. That created some problems for them. They tried to sell some restaurants in Jacksonville. They could not sell them in time, and fell behind on loan payments. The lender was taking the company to court and was going to appoint a receiver. That appeared to be a likely outcome, at least based on my read of this. And by the way, if the lender asks to appoint a receiver, that's generally a bad thing. It means that they're going to have somebody else come in and take over management of the company. Really, the big issue, and what's a little bit more interesting about this one is, I mean, look, this is actually kind of a run of the mill debt fueled bankruptcy. And you got bankruptcies that are based on brand performance. And I think that we can, if you remember the Burger King rash of Burger King bankruptcies, for instance, that we had a couple of years ago, that was brand performance. Burger King was struggling, and a lot of their franchisees suffered as a result. Popeyes, on balance, is doing just fine. It did not have a good year last year. And so there is that element as well. So Popeyes just overhauled its management team because, frankly, Popeyes is not really thrilled with the way things were going last year. Well, Restaurant Brands International, not really thrilled with the way things went last year. I think that we can safely come to that conclusion. So they changed the company president, and then the president overhauled management just as this bankruptcy came through. And so, it gives the appearance that the chain has some real issues. And it's not really the case here. It's not like Popeyes does not have some things that they need to fix. I think that there's pretty clear. You don't change management after sales. Their same store sales, I think, have fallen like 4 of the past 5 quarters, not including the fourth quarter of last year. So they've had their share of challenges coming out of the pandemic, and really maintaining momentum for any consistent amount of time. So it's not like they don't have issues, but it's not some sort of the existential crises that we saw with Burger King a couple of years ago, where they had some significant issues with unit volumes and profitability. This really is just about Sailormen taking on way too much debt. And by the way, they also did a lot of sale leasebacks, which was problematic. So they had a lot of lease locations and a lot of debt, and it's not an easy time to run restaurants right now.
Well, wouldn't you say also that the chicken space has become increasingly crowded? I mean, Popeyes really did knock it out of the ballpark when they did the chicken sandwich thing, and that really got them kind of forward in the pack. But